Okay, so hopefully by now you're having fun playing that blues jam in the key of A, and hopefully you're able to do that. And if you are, congratulations, because that's a big accomplishment and something that you'll use through your years of playing. And you'll come up with all kinds of different variations on that, but that's a really good, I think, a good baseline as to how it works. In this lesson, we're going to take a look at transposing that to different keys, so we're not limited to just the key of A. So let's take a look at this. So when we played that A power chord, which is this, we're basically on two strings. We're on the 5th string and the 4th string. And the 5th string was an open note. It was an open A. And the open A is actually what makes that nice, because it frees up our other hand to be able to make all kinds of stretches, and it can move all up and down the neck if it needs to. When we're going to transpose this, you're going to see that you don't have that flexibility, because instead of playing these open notes, you're going to have to actually push down, and you're going to have to fret that open note. So if you think of the nut here, which is this piece, think of the nut as your finger. It's kind of pushing down for you on the 0 fret. Now, if we're going to play in the key of A sharp, for example, I'm going to have to fret that myself. So think of it as moving the nut up one. You're simulating the nut with your finger. So just as the other note on the 4th string was here on the A, now we're going to have to move it up too. So it's going to have to go to the 3rd fret. So it looks like this when you put them together. That's an A sharp power chord. Now the challenge isn't that so much as it is to creating that rhythm, and really all that's left is my pinky. Now some people can make these power chords like this with their 1st and 2nd finger. I don't have long enough fingers to do that. I think it's pretty standard to use your 1st finger and your ring finger, and kind of let unfortunately in that scenario though, your middle finger is kind of out of the game. There's not much you can do with it. But to create that little bouncing rhythm part, we have our pinky free, and the challenge is that you have to stretch so far. So it has to come all the way to the 5th fret. So I'm stretching. I have one finger on the 1st fret, one finger on the 3rd fret, and one finger jumping up and down on the 5th fret. So it looks like this. And you can see that's quite a stretch here, if I hold that position. And what's going on back behind the neck is my thumb is pressing down kind of right in the middle, pressing pretty hard. That's absolutely key. You got to have the thumb back there for support. If you're just trying to do this with your thumb free floating or something, it won't work. So your thumb has to be kind of locked into place, and while your thumb is back there, it's actually pushing too. So your thumb is pushing and then pushing this way, and your fingers are pushing this way. You're kind of almost, you're creating a squeezing motion. So that's what that looks like. So that's the key. That would be playing that same rhythm in the key of A sharp. Now we can slide this all up and down the neck. Here's the key of B, key of C, C sharp, so forth. Now, we're not limited to just playing on the 5th and 4th string. Just as we learned in the blues jam in the key of A, we started on the 5th and 4th string to play the A, but then we jumped up to the 4th and 3rd strings to play the D. Well, we can also do anything we can do the same pattern on any of the 4th and 3rd strings. So you can see you can slide it all up and down in the neck there so you can find whatever key it is you're trying to find. You can also do the same thing on the 5th and 6th strings. So we play the E down here. So if I play it here, that's in the key of F. You got F sharp, G, G sharp. Now an interesting thing happens here when I move up one more. What's above a G sharp? Well, is an A. But this is an A too. So you can play that exact same A. It sounds exactly the same in either of these positions. One thing that if you go to YouTube and do a search for Chuck Berry, you'll notice that Chuck Berry played most of what he played rhythm-wise was kind of using this rhythm. And obviously he inspired everybody from the Rolling Stones to Eric Clapton, and obviously many artists through the years have picked up that rhythm. But I always kind of think of that as a Chuck Berry rhythm. And watch his hands when he's playing. He's that's exactly what he's doing. Is that, and obviously he'd mix it in with other things. So this is just in the key of A. See, just the same key that we learned. So anyway, I'm not sure why Chuck Berry always kind of played up here. In fact, I think I've seen him. I don't know that I've ever seen him playing down here. I guess it's because he's got such long fingers or something. But anyway, he's Chuck Berry. He can get away with it. But there you go. I think that that's pretty much all there is to transposing that blues rhythm to any key. So hopefully that's something that makes sense to you. Something you'll have to practice. In the beginning, it's going to hurt your hand a little bit, especially right here. There's a muscle, or maybe it's a tendon or something, but you'll feel it kind of burn a little bit when you're first doing this. But just keep practicing it, and that'll go away. You'll be a pro.